Okay, on this video we're going to look at how to do this problem. We have this function f of x equals 7x minus 5. So we need to find the domain of it. So let's talk about anytime we have a square root. So it doesn't really matter what's in there. Let's just see what can we have, like what numbers can be under there. Can the numbers be negative? Is it okay if they end up negative under there? Well, no, it's not. We can't have negative numbers under a square root. What about 0? Can 0 be under a square root? Well, yes, it can. 0 is okay. And then positive numbers are okay. So basically, we know whatever is under that square root needs to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay? And so in this case, it's 7x minus 5. And so we know 7x minus 5 needs to be greater than or equal to 0. So we'll solve for x. We will add 5 to both sides. Those cancel, so we get 7x is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, divide by 7. So we have x has to be greater than or equal to 5/7. Okay, so that's kind of the first part of our answer. We found the domain, but we need to make sure and write it in interval form. So if you remember, interval form is parentheses, brackets. When we write interval notation, we need to write from least to greatest. So if x has to be greater than 5/7, it has to be bigger. We know 5/7 is going to come first. Now it can be equal to 5/7, and so we'll have a bracket there. Okay, and then it's just anything bigger than 5/7, so it'll just go 5/7 to infinity, and around infinity we always have a parenthesis. Okay, so that will be it. This represents the domain of that function. Let's look at one more. So we've got this function and we also need to find the domain. So we're going to do similarly and just kind of look what is going to give us a problem. Well, we don't have a square root to deal with, and so it's okay if numbers are positive, it's okay if numbers are negative. That's not going to give us a problem. But what will give us a problem is if we have 0 in that denominator. We cannot have, doesn't matter what's on top, so it can be anything on top, but you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. This function would not exist. It wouldn't work. And so that's what we're going to do, is we're going to see, okay, what would give us 0 in the denominator? Because that's what we cannot have. So we'll say 3x plus 5 cannot equal 0. So solve for x. We get 3x cannot equal negative 5. Divide by 3. So then we see x cannot equal negative 5/3. So basically any number is okay except negative 5/3. Okay, so on this one, it asks what's the only value of x not in the domain. So in this case, we'd put negative 5/3. Now let's say we needed to write this in interval notation though. Okay, let's just say it was asking us for interval notation. So basically, we're going to have everything but negative 5/3. So that means we start clear at negative infinity, because remember we're writing least to greatest. We'll have a parenthesis, and it'll come up to negative 5/3. Now, can it include negative 5/3? Well, no, it can't, and so it's going to be a parenthesis there. And then we're going to say or, because it can be in that section, or it can be over here, so we'll have a union, and then it's going to go just negative 5/3 to infinity. So basically, we're just having one little blip right there where it can't be, and then it goes up to infinity. Okay, I hope that helps. Let me know if you're still feeling stuck.